all gods carry weapons. Post-independence also, it was illegal for 150 years. Kalari is an Indian martial art and it is considered to be the mother of all martial arts. But 90% of Indians doesn't know Kalaripayattu exists.
British also criminalized gurus and yogis and called them armed vagrants, means armed beggars and homeless people.
Modern education system, the responsibility of learning is completely up to the student. Kalaripayattu is the only martial art which has a healing system incorporated. We are the only country which has a documented martial art knowledge. We call it as Dhanur Veda. When you start serving others, when you start loving others, when you are compassionate with others or with the society, then you are healthy. Once Shankaracharya was also asking a crowd, he asked, Jagam Jitam Kena, who will conquer the world? And he answered, Manohiyena, those who conquer the mind can conquer the world.
Before Kung Fu, before Karate, there was Kalaripayattu, the world's oldest martial art, born in the red soil of Kerala, India, where every movement is a prayer and every strike a meditation. Today, we meet the man keeping that ancient fire alive, Dr. S. Mahesh. He's the fifth generation in a lineage that survived wars, bans, and centuries of silence. He's the warrior monk of India, and it is with great pride that I welcome Dr. S. Mahesh, sir. Namaste, sir.
Namaskaram.
Welcome to Happy Alien Life.
Yeah.
So, to begin with, if you could just tell us what is Kalaripayattu, and I noticed that the spelling is Kalaripayattu, but it's pronounced as Kalaripayattu.
Basically, Kalaripayattu is the oldest structured martial art form ever in the world, because we have many martial art forms, and if you are thinking or tracing back the legacy of these martial arts, Kalaripayattu dates back up to almost like 3,000 years. For example, if you can search the Tamil Sangam literature, you might have heard about the Tamil Sangam. We have Adi Sangam and the Sangam literatures, where we can see the word Kalari in a very profound way. We have the Akampadal, Purampadal, Kundalakeshi, Valayapadi, Tirumurukattupadai. These are all Tamil Sangam literature, where we can see the valor of heroes, at the same time the word Kalari and the weapons, usage of weapons. So many things we can see in the Sangam literature. So this shows the word Kalari was there before Sangam literature. That means almost like 3,000 years. And it is very simple. Kalari means a profound space where you can learn anything. If you learn writing, it is Eduthu Kalari. If you are learning drama or theatrical performance, it is Nadaga Kalari. If you are learning combat or fight, then it is Kalaripayattu. So this martial art was here for many years. But at the same time, martial arts evolved alongside with human race evolution. If you are thinking about India, actually all gods carry weapons.
That's actually a very interesting insight or an observation.
Yeah.
You're right, actually.
Yeah. If you are thinking about Shiva, he is holding a trident or pinaka.
Yes.
Kali with the Mahakhadga. Hanuman with the mighty Gada.
Yes.
Krishna or Vishnu with the Sudarshana Chakra, Kodanda, with Rama holding Kodanda. So all gods are carrying weapons. So this is, what do you think, it's a decoration or not? It's not decoration. Even if you are thinking about the Dhyana shlokas also, they defined what kind of weapons they hold. So this shows we have a deep instinct of warrior worship. So we worshipped warriors. So these gods, they fought with their weapons. If I am fighting with my weapon, that means I am mastered in that weapon, right?
Yeah.
Then only I can fight. So 90% of the gods we worship carries weapons, and we expect some kind of protection from these warriors. So we have a deep instinct of warrior worship within us.
Yeah.
Even I recently traveled to Italy, Rome. There I had seen many Roman gods.
Yeah.
If we are looking the African gods or in any ancient gods, for example, they all hold weapons. So this is just because we have an admiration for the warriors from many long years. Because we evolved as hunter-gatherers, actually from Neanderthal man to Homo sapiens, we evolved as hunter-gatherers almost like 2 lakhs years. Hunter-gatherers means what? We have to run, we have to climb trees, we have to fight each other, we have to hunt, we should use weapons. So almost like 2 lakhs years, we fought and fought for the survival.
Yeah.
So in our deep genetical memory, we are all warriors. Sometimes even if you are thinking about wars, big wars, many wars started from here, like from mind. All wars starts from mind. So warriors created this kind of civilizations. They motivated people sometimes to fight, to survive also, to protect. And when we think about the history, warriors created history. So the so-called history written by many people may be manipulated, created many things. But at the same time, it talks more about the warriors. Then warriors means they are standing for the society. They always die for the society or they stand for the society. So if you are creating a warrior spirit in the mind, for example, through these kind of Indian martial arts or Kalaripayattu, the basic thing what India can achieve is a great warrior instinct. That was the pride of India, for example. This was the pride of India, that wherever we are talking about India, we talk about the knowledge and the valor at the same time. The valor, the people, the kings, the warriors hold it here. And many of the history, if you are tracing back the history, who fought against British, who was the man who is fighting against invaders. So this creates history also. And I was traveling in the south part of India. We had a Veera Yuga, which was being well mentioned in the Sangam literature. So this Veera Yuga means the shortcut to become a god is to die in a war field. So there is a concept called as Veera Kalli or a hero stone. For example, if you are a warrior, your aspiration is to go fight in a war field and get a hit on your chest and die. If you are getting a hit on your chest and you are dying, means you are getting a warrior death. And your cremation will be a glorified, profound cremation. And one hero stone will be led there.
But India also has this. India has a peaceful side, of course. We are peaceful, peace-loving people. But I think in the recent past, we have had this benign, docile image and this amnesia about, how we used to be warriors. Why do you think that has happened?
See, because the concept of peace, it is the state of mind basically. It comes from power. Power means it is not merely the physical power, it is mental power. So these martial arts always create a different status quo of mind, a powerful mind, a fearless mindset, a warrior spirit. You know the speciality of warrior means warriors created civilizations, warriors created history, warriors always stand for the society. Sometimes they die for the society. Even if you are thinking about the history of Kalaripayattu, we have a group called as Chavers. That is a suicidal Scots. And Kalari was taught to fight in wars. So they are giving care, compassion, and protection for the society. This is the real warrior spirit. India was holding that much of great warrior spirit. That's why many peaceful persons, even if you are thinking about rishis and munis, they were, we always talk about the siddhas. They were warriors, at the same time they were monks. If you are thinking about Agastya, Parashurama, or many rishis, they were great martial artists. At the same time, they were monks. So they evolved like that.
A Kalaripayattu is the oldest martial art form, right? It is also said that martial art forms like Taekwondo, Kung Fu, Karate, they all emerged from Kalaripayattu.
We can say they are all inspired from this martial art, from this part. Because of the story of Bodhidharma. You heard about Bodhidharma, right?
Yeah.
So Bodhidharma was the prince of Pallava. Pallava, we call that space as Tundai Mandalam. So he was the third prince. Like his father was Sugandha. He had 3 sons. And Sugandha was planning to make Bodhidharma the next prince. But at the same time, he got many tug of wars from his brothers, and many family issues happened according to the writings. So he went to the woods. He went inside the woods and he found a monk, Prajnatara. So she initiated Bodhidharma, the path of Buddhism. So he became a monk, he meditated, he practiced many martial art forms here in the south part. And after his 50s, he decided to travel to China. So he went to China. There, actually, Emperor Wutang was the emperor there in China. So he received Bodhidharma. Wutang was a great exponent in Buddhism. So he created universities, he created many monasteries. He was feeding thousands of monks per day. He created libraries. So he talked with the Bodhidharma. He said, I am doing this much of activity. I created monasteries. I'm feeding this much of monks.
Yeah.
So I'm even my ambition of my life is to completely contribute to Buddhism. Then he asked Bodhidharma, shall I get salvation? Then Bodhidharma said, you are going to die in 7th hell. It was shocking for Emperor Wutang because his entire life he was dedicating for the Buddhism activities. As I told you, many things he did, and he was not even expecting this answer. And he asked, why? Why are you saying like that? Then Bodhidharma said, the basic principle of Buddhism is not to expect anything and do your karma. Just like Bhagavad Gita says, karmanyevadhigaraste ma bhaleshu kathajana. Don't expect and do your karma. You are expecting salvation and doing this much of works.
Yeah.
So you are deviating from the basic principles of Buddhism. So he was little reluctant to receive Bodhidharma, that part. Then he traveled to the Shaolin monks, Shaolin temples. Their monks were reluctant to receive Bodhidharma. Then he meditated inside a cave for 9 years. They call it as the wall-gazing meditation. Without food, without sleep, he meditated and meditated. And after 9 years, he came out with 2 scriptures. One is I Ching Ching, another one is In Zai Jing. From I Ching Ching, all these martial arts, Kempo Karate, Shaolin Kung Fu, many martial arts inspired and evolved. So this martial art is called as the mother of all martial art because of this Bodhidharma story.
Oh. So Kalaripayattu has 3 aspects to it, right? So one is the spiritual aspect of meditation. Then you have, there's a healing bit to it as well. And then obviously you fight with different type of weapons, which includes wood and metal and all of that.
Basically, if you are thinking about the holistic path of Kalaripayattu, it enhances the body, physical body, for example. It strengthens your body. It sharpens your mind. It gives more focus. Emotionally, you will be balanced. spiritually you will be elevated. If you are thinking about the physical goals of Kalaripayattu, it's 100% a cardiovascular exercise which strengthens your heart. At the same time, it is a resistance training which strengthens your muscle groups, especially the lean muscle groups. Then third, obviously it will improve your flexibility. Whenever you are seeing Kalaripayattu, the practitioners are much more flexible. At the same time, it is improving the body balance. If you lose these four faculties, then you are old. I always say that is a warrior life, because even last year, we are an IKS center. We did a proper scientific study about this.
I was actually about to ask you about that because one of the fascinating things about you is that you're also a doctorate. You have done extensive research on this.
So, Agasthyam Kalari is a proud center of Kalaripayattu, as well as it's an IKS center, Indian Knowledge System Center for Kalaripayattu and Siddha tradition from the Ministry of Education, Government of India. So, what we did last 2 years back is we did a proper study. So, we put almost like 400 students spanning 6 schools, 2 aided school, 2 government schools and 2 private schools. And we trained Kalari for 16 weeks. Again, NISH, the government agency, their psychological team came into board and they started gauging the psychological changes of kids whoever practiced Kalaripayattu. So in 16 weeks of training, their resilience, confidence, fearlessness and self-esteem improved a lot. You know, India is lacking resilience because you can check the suicide rate of India. Mostly youngsters are committing suicide. The youth of cream minds, the youth are committing suicides. We are traveling all over India, even in IITs. We train IIT Kharagpur, IIT Roorkee, Indore, Ropar and all. So whenever we are traveling, even in IITs, kids are committing suicides. The cream minds of India. So why it is happening? This is just because of the lack of resilience. So we teach resilience. For example, when you come inside a Kalari, we will bow down and we salute the Mother Earth. We have some kind of salutation, but at the same time, we'll start learning how to fall down and come back. How to fall down and come back. Because in life, many situations will come. Sometimes mentally, you'll be falling down. Sometimes physically, you'll be falling down. But at the same time, when you fall down, don't lie down. You should come back. You should bounce back with double energy, double vigor. This is what Kalari teach. So, Kalari improves resilience. Then, second thing is fearlessness. You know, Swami Vivekananda once said, fear is the root cause of all miseries in the world. If you dissect what is misery, then the root cause is fear. So we are creating a fearless society. When you are learning Kalaripayattu, a fearless warrior is coming. If you are fearful, you can't progress in life. Many things will hold. At the same time, we are trying to create a fearless society. Then confidence. Confidence always comes from action. When you do repeatedly something, then confidence evolves. At the same time, self-exploration, self-esteem, knowing about you. These are all the values that Kalari gives.
You go and train IITians and especially people in the IT sector. So what is the pattern that you see these days which needs to be corrected? And how Kalari specifically addresses that?
The basic problem I always feel that we know many things, many things, because we are in the digital age. Now we are in the AI age. So if you want to know anything, you can just surf and figure it out. So we know everything around us, whatever information we amassed through scientific evidences, many things, wanted evidences, unwanted evidences, scientific data, junk informations, everything is there. But we are not much aware about ourselves. Even I can ask you one question. What is the fundamental necessity of life? What do you say?
Fundamental lessons of my life.
No. Fundamental necessity of life.
Fundamental necessity. I think breath.
Obviously, yeah. Whenever we are talking about the fundamental necessity of life, people will come with the answer like, for example, they will say food, shelter. Some people will say peace of mind. Whenever I am asking this to the so-called elite educated people, they are coming with these kind of answers. Nobody is saying breath.
Oh,
So congratulations for that.
thank you. I feel privileged.
But at the same time, breath means we can even survive without food for many days. I know one person, I was in the media for some days, so I interviewed one person called as Hira Ratan Manik. He's not there. He was just merely, he was gazing at the sun and he thrived almost like 82 years. He was not eating food. So without food, we can survive up to many years. Without water also, we can survive up to some extent. But without breath, we'll die in 3 minutes. How we are born? The first breath. How we are dying? Last breath. Right? So whatever happens in between is the expression of prana. Chandogya Upanishad says, Sayed avojam pranam, prabhati idi pranava idam sarvam. Whatever I experience in this life, whatever I experience in this universe is the expression of prana, so I bow down. So basically there is a concept called as breath per minute. That means how many inhalation and exhalation you do in 1 minute decides your lifespan. For example, if you are checking a rat with a breath per minute of 180, it lives 2 years, you know. If you are looking at a doggy with the breath per minute of 60, lives almost like 15 to 16 years. Do you know the longest lifespan animal?
Tortoise?
Yeah, it's tortoise. This quiz, I am a quiz master and you are answering perfectly. So anyway, turtles, the breath per minute of turtles is 2 to 3 or 4 and they live 250 years. That means absolutely your longevity is decided by breath. But we don't know how to take the breath. Even I can ask you another question. Are you confident that you are breathing properly or not?
I feel I'm breathing properly because I do yoga. But I know
Yeah.
people, they don't realize that they're actually breathing in the opposite way. They're inhaling and then they should be exhaling at that time, like that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Another factor is breath is controlling your mind. Hadayoga Pradipika says, Chale vade chalam chittam, nischalam bhaved. When the breath is disturbed, mind is disturbed. And vice versa. The autonomous nerve system, the parasympathetic, sympathetic nerve system is completely controlled by the breath. All emotions are balanced by breath. You can check a small girl crying. After she cries, she starts sobbing. Sobbing means what? Breath is manipulating in such a way to settle down her.
Yeah.
If you are depressed, these long sighs will come.
Yeah.
So, whatever emotion, if you are triggering to any kind of emotions, breath will come and manipulate and settle down you. So, your mind is controlled by breath. Your longevity is controlled by breath. But at the same time, generally, we don't know how to breathe.
Sometimes we don't even realize it, We don't realize it
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. So, the self-exploration part is missing in the Indian youth. Globally, if you are thinking, they don't know about themselves.
Actually, when you were talking about the number of breaths, in Mahabharata as well, Bhishma Pitama, for example, he lived very long, for very long.
Yeah.
And it is said that, he used to do this breath work and he was celibate and he would contain his energy like that.
Yeah.
Right? So it's also in our these epics.
No, it's very simple. All Siddha says, Kayame idu poyyada, idu kattada itta payyada. They say this physical body is an illusion. This is just an airbag. We have the 10 air currents, actually the prana, pana, samana, vyana, naga, kurma, krikara, devadatta, dhananjaya. In experiential knowledge, these faculties are working properly. For example, prana has two functions. One is the respiration, second one is talking. Sound comes when an air column is reverberating from here on your vocal cord and sound is coming. When the prana is less, your voice is less. If you are checking an old woman, for example, if she talks, the voice is less just because the prana shakti is less. Apana means it is a downward push which is functioning for the excretion, sexuality. And apana has two variants also. One is Sutika Vayu and Prajapati Vayu. Sutika is pushing the fetus out of the mother's womb. At the same time, Prajapati is holding the fetus within us. So we actually studied many, many things about life.
So
Even our
fascinating.
ancient siddhas and rishis. Yawning, vomiting, winking of eyes. These are all pranic palpitations. So this is actually a pranamaya sharira, and Kalari teaches how to maintain balance, enhance this prana in a better way. Because if pranas are enhanced, you will get a strong mind. Basically, it leads to get a strong mind. Even the study shows the mind is more energized. If you have a strong mind, a good body arises from a strong mind. We always think that from a strong body, a good mind comes. It is not like that. Agastya sings, Manamadu semmeyanal mandiram jabikya venda, Manamadu semmeyanal vasiya nirutha venda, Manamadu semmeyanal vayu uyartha venda, Manamadu semmeyanal mandiram semmeyame. It means if you have a profound mind, no need to chant mantras, no need to do pranayamas, no need to do deep kriyas. If you have a strong mind, a good body arrives. Taittiriya Upanishad also says, there is one chapter called as Bhargavi Varuni Vidya, that is Bhrigu Maharshi is talking with his father Varuna, and their conversation concludes something like this. It says, if you have a profound mind, Annavan Annannato Bhavati, Mahan Bhavati, Pashunam Prajabhir Brahmavarsena Mahan Kirtya. Which means, if you have a strong mind, Annavan Annannato Bhavati, you will get a good body from that. Mahan Bhavati, you will become a great person. Pashunam, wealth will come to you. Prajabhir, like-minded people will come to you. Brahmavarsena Mahan Kirtya, then you will become a glorified one. So ultimately, this martial art is training your mind to create a strong, powerful, fearless mindset. From there, everything arrives.
So the important question is how to have a strong mind through Kalaripayattu also, but how to have a strong mind.
Basically, we always think that mind and body are two entities. It is not like that. Basically, we have a body-mind complex. From birth to death, body is accompanying you. This is the only tool that you have to work on.
Yeah.
Ayurveda says, Puna Vrata, Puna Mitra, Puna Bharya, Puna Mihi. Edat Sarva Punar Labhya, Na Sharira Puna Puna. You can achieve everything in life. Whatever lost, you can get it back. But once you lost your body, it's not possible to get anything. So, mind and body is not a two entity. We have a body-mind complex. And through mind, we work on the body. And through body, we work on mind.
How is it different from, let's say, so yoga is a part of this as well, right? It is a part of Kalaripayattu.
We can say Kalari is a dynamic yoga. Two things. What is the basic goal of yoga? If you are thinking about the Ashtanga Yoga, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. These are the 8 limbs, correct? So if you look, Yama, it is mostly working with the mind. Niyama, again mind. Asana, Sthira Sukha Asana, to manage your mind. Pranayama, completely mind. Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. So, is that a physical practice or a mental practice? What do you think?
I think it is a mental practice.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Through the body, we are trying to create a profound mindset to attain samadhi. This is the path. So, if you are coming to Kalari also, it is more dynamic than yoga because our actions, actions, practice, moves, everything is more dynamic. It creates a warrior mindset. At the same time, it creates precision, focus, sharp focus. Maybe you can see our kids are performing sword and shield, for example. If one fraction of second is missing, they'll get cut.
Yeah.
So that kind of sharp focus we have to create. So ultimately, it works in a profound way to create a strong mind. Even scientifically, if you are thinking, martial art practice is a subconscious level practice.
Yes. I was just about to
If
ask,
you do,
doesn't
yeah,
it
yeah,
sharpen your intuition, which these
many
days we
things,
don't
many
pay too much
things.
attention to it.
Yeah, because it creates awareness around you always. When you start doing a repeated practice, for example, Kalari, we are having Chuvadu, Vadivu, or many weapon moves, we are doing repeatedly. Practices are always happening repeatedly. When you do a repeated practice, for example, what is getting? If you do a repeated practice, your brain will start creating a neural pathway and it will create a muscle memory. So ultimately, martial art learning is a subconscious learning. If you learn a skill, you can't anticipate if somebody is coming and hitting you. You can't anticipate that we have to use this kind of technique if he is hitting like that. Hit will come like in a fraction of a second, but your body should react it as a reflex action. So mostly we are trying to generate reflex actions. It is completely a subconscious learning. So martial art learning is a subconscious training ultimately. So it trains the mind to be more fearless, to be more focused, to be more sharp. At the same time, the body awareness, the consciousness is expanded.
So what would you say? Is it more like a performative art or like a street fight?
Uh, Many people comments on my videos. For example, actually I have pretty good followers in the social media. Many, if I'm putting some comments, some techniques, for example, I had seen many comments. This is not going to work on street fights. Even when I recently went to Palani, so I was talking in a conference. There also one young man, good-looking man came and was talking about Kalari, and he said, Kalari is good, it's a performing art, but it is not going to work on the street fights. That's why I didn't study it. I am not interested to learn. Then I asked one question: are you learning Kalaripayattu or any other martial art to do a street fight? Street fight is what? You don't have emotional balance. You don't have a quality. You took something, whatever you are getting, chopper or anything, and you are going and fighting in a street. If you aspire to become a street fighter, don't come to Kalari. There are two things that we can signifying two things. One is the fighter. Second one is the martial artist. It is two distinctive words. Fighter means he is showing an aggression for a certain amount of period. For example, cage fighting. All these sports are wonderful actually. MMA is very beautiful sports. But at the same time, they are preparing for an aggression for some time. They'll come and fight, and maybe this street fight, for example. So they are preparing for some kind of aggression. That is the word fighter. If it comes to martial artist, it's a profound lifestyle. It denotes a profound lifestyle. In 1400s, Abdul Razak Samarkandi, a Persian traveler, he was actually the ambassador of Emperor Shah Rukh. He visited Kerala and he mentioned about Kalari as a profound, healthy lifestyle. People used to go to Kalari in a disciplined way. They used to practice in a regular way. He had seen flexible, fearless warriors all along the street. At the same time, in 16th century, Durait Barbosa, a Portuguese traveler, also mentioned about Kalari as a profound lifestyle. So this was a lifestyle in Kerala, but at the same time, it was a warrior cult that we were continuously creating and maintaining. So this is the significant difference between fighter, aggression, street fighting, and a warrior lifestyle. The world statistics says one of three girls or women is facing some kind of molestation from the society. Why it is happening? Because we are educated, we have many facilities, we evolved a lot, but at the same time this is happening. This comes from the unawareness how to handle situations. No education system is training kids, especially boys and girls, to handle such a situation. If some situations comes, we'll be like in the freeze mode. Naturally, we had to be in a flight or fight mode. Any threatening situations are coming to you, you should fly or flight. You should run away from the situation, or you should fight back as a warrior. But at the same time, such situations are coming, and girls are basically they are in the freeze mode. They don't know how to handle the situation. This is why this number of molestations or rape cases are happening. So it is compulsory to educate girls and boys in the schools to defend or deal with such situations. So what we envisioned is to create a Shakti initiative. Shakti means a women empowering sessions through Kalaripayattu. Even in India, the basic challenge we are facing is even in India, 90% of Indians doesn't know Kalaripayattu exists.
That is very true.
Yeah. If we are asking them, do you know a martial arts? Then immediately they will say, yes, we know karate and kung fu, because these Chinese martial arts are much known to all of the Indians. They had given tremendous promotions for this martial art. But at the same time, Kalari is an Indian martial art and it is considered to be the mother of all martial arts. But 90% of Indians doesn't know Kalaripayattu exists. This is even from my personal experience also.
Why is that?
The problem is in 1800s, Kalari was banned by British. Whenever invasions happened to India, the warriors fought against that invasions were with the support of Kalari warriors. For example, in Kerala, I am talking about Kerala, 1700s, Martanda Varma fought against the Dutch East India Company in Kolachal War with the support of Kalari warriors, and he defeated the Dutch East India Company warrior. Then even in 1800s, 1804, Kerala Varma Parishiraja, he fought against the British officers and he killed many British officers. So Lord Wellesley was the head of British East India Company. You heard about Lord Wellesley. He was the man who killed Napoleon Bonaparte. He was the man who killed Tipu Sultan. He was threatened by Kalari warriors and he was forced to ban Kalaripayattu in Kerala in 1804. He demolished Kalaris, many gurus were killed, weapons were seized, and Kalari became illegal almost like 150 years until independence. So post-independence, it took some time to revive and come back in that glory. National level promotions or international level promotions of Kalaripayattu is not much happening. Kalaris are working in a full strength, traditionally they are working, but how to promote this beautiful martial art all over India, till now it is not happened. I always urge the gurus is to create some kind of small workshop kind of things or short-term programs. Kalari is a long discipline. It is not meant to learn in very short term. It is, whenever you are talking about Kalari, it is a long discipline. It took almost like 10 to 12 years. But in this fast-paced world, 12 years, people can't dedicate that much of time. Very special students can dedicate that much of time. But at the same time, we had to introduce Kalari in a better way. So I took Kalari as a self-defense program for the girls. And we traveled all over India. Till now, we are happy that we trained more than 12,000 girls.
You know, you are doing an excellent job at reviving this. I just had a question about when Brits banned Kalaripat. Was it just a fear of revolution, or was there an intent to wipe away the culture as well? Because Brits have been known to do that with various civilizations and countries.
Yeah. See, British rule has some positive impacts in the society, but at the same time, they had created many negative impact on the society. They tried to wipe out the cultural, whatever the treasures we had. Because if you are thinking about India, we were a knowledge hub. People far away from even from 6,000 kilometers travel to India to just get knowledge. You know, Nalanda, Takshashila, Vikramashila. Here, even in Trivandrum, there was a university called as Kandallur Shala. So people used to come to this land for knowledge. We were Vishwa Gurus. We documented knowledge. We tried to disseminate knowledge. We researched on that. At the same time, if you are thinking about, for example, if you are thinking about a martial arts, we are the only country which has a documented martial art knowledge. We call it as Dhanur Veda.
Garud Veda.
It is called as the Upaveda of Yajur Veda. And whenever we are thinking about Mahabharata, the principles, the ideologies, the rules used in the fight, it is completely taken from Dhanur Veda. We can see that even the word Acharya, it is well defined in Dhanur Veda. Who is Acharya? You heard about Acharyas, right?
Yeah.
Bhishma Acharya,
Hmm.
Drona Acharya, Kripa Acharya. Why they are Acharyas? Dhanurveda says, Acharya Sapta Yuddhasya, Chadurbhi Bhargavasrina, Dwapya Chaiva Bhaved Yodha, Eken Ganako Bhaved. Which means if you want to become an Acharya, you should master in 7 war tactics.
Which are they?
Then only you will become an Acharya. Yeah. Then if you want to
Which are the 7
become
tactics?
for example, very simply we can say chariot, Ratha Chalana is one tactics.
Hmm.
Shastra Vidya is one tactics. Dhanur Vidya is another tactics.
Okay.
Like that. Ashwachalana is another tactics.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to become a Acharya, then you have to learn 7 tactics of war, 7 war tactics, for example. If you want to become a Bhargava, you heard about Bhargavas, right? Any Bhargavas you remember?
No, I have met people whose surname is Bhargava. I think then they are the descendants of.
These are all titles actually.
Yeah.
Parashurama was a Bhargava. He was called as Bhargava Raman. His father was a Bhargava. His father was Bhargava Jamadagni. That means he knows 4 tactics of warfare. Bhargava was a title. Dwapya Chaiva Bhaved Yodha. Who is Yodha? You heard about many Yodhas, right? Arjuna is a Yodha. Karna is a Yodha. Duryodhana is a Yodha. These are all Yodhas. They know 2 ways of fighting, 2 tactics. They are masters in 2 tactics. Eken Ganako Bhaved. Ganaka means I only know 1 tactics. I only know sword fighting, for example. So even the classification of Acharyas, Bhargavas, Ganakas and Yodhas was well explained in Dhanur Veda. And Dhanur Veda classified weapons into 4 groups. They said, Shaktiyadi Pani Muktam Syad, Yendra Muktam Sharadigam, Mukta Muktam Cheshtiyadi Ramuktam Churigabhikam. Which means there are 4 classification of weapons. One is Pani Mukta, which can be thrown from hand. Yendra Mukta, we use just like spears, many things. Yendra Mukta means we have to use an Yendra. So bow and arrow is an Yendra Mukta.
Okay, like that.
Then Yendra Mukta. So Pani Mukta, Yendra Mukta. Then Mukta. We had a kind of weapons that we should release and we had to get it back, just like boomerangs. In Kalari, we use Valaris. Just like Sudarshana Chakra is a Mukta. Then Amuktas, we are not releasing the weapons, we are holding the weapons. Sword fight is an Amukta kind of weapon. For example, we are not throwing the sword, we will always hold the sword and fight.
What about those
So the
wooden sticks?
classification of weapons.
What about the wooden sticks as well? You know, the
It is
wooden...
also it also comes in the Amukta category. We are not releasing the sticks. So mostly, if you are thinking about Kalari's tactics, it comes under the Amukta category. We are always holding the weapons and fighting. We are not happy that releasing the weapon is not there in Kalari tactics. Mostly, we always hold. So these are the classification of weapons we can see in Dhanurveda. I am just citing that if you look at Dhanurveda, it is a very detailed text for all kind of weapons, usages, rules, moralities, treatments, many things we can see. So we documented knowledges and people always invaded here to get the knowledge as well as the treasures we hold it. Even after the British ban, for example, we lost many knowledges because many gurus were killed. I told you, many gurus were killed, many Kalaris were demolished, many knowledge scriptures were like burnt. At the same time, the gurus were continuously trying to train in a hidden way. These 150 years, they bridged the knowledge in many ways. Mostly secretly they transmitted. At the same time, they induced this knowledge in many art forms. For example, in Kerala, if you are analyzing the 30 art forms, for example, just like Kathakali is an art form, Velagali is an art form, Theyyam is an art form. Foundational for these temple art forms or ritualistic art forms, the foundational training is Kalari. So through that secret mission, they kept the light alive almost like 150 years. Now I feel this light is coming back with good glory.
Even Kathakali or Kuchipudi, Kalari is a part of that, right?
No, Kathakali is Kerala's famous traditional dance form, classical dance form. Now being an IK center, we are trying to study the influence of Kalaripayattu in performing art forms. So we took 3 art forms. One is Kathakali, second one is Velagali, and third one is Theyyam. So now we started studying about the influence of Kalaripayattu in these art forms as a foundational training.
And what did you find while researching?
No, we just started.
Oh, you
Maybe
just started.
Next 2-year mission is to study about this.
Because while I was doing my research, I found that British also criminalized gurus and yogis and called them armed vagrants, means armed beggars and homeless people, and put them behind bars. So people were secretly also doing their, meditative practices. But thankfully, it didn't get wiped off completely.
Yeah.
That is the power, yeah. So the same thing happened with Kalaripayattu as well.
The power of knowledge is something different because, knowledge is eternal. It can't be wiped off.
Yeah. You're right, actually. If somebody has to start Kalaripayattu, there is a spiritual bit. First, you have to also do the puja, as I see it in the background. And then one progresses to start with the weaponry, right? Or we do it simultaneously?
No, whenever we are entering Kalari, we salute the earth, Mother Earth, because basically martial arts receives energy from the Mother Earth. We travel it through our Manipuragas and we act, our core, and we act. So we salute the Mother Earth or this place because the place creates people. Spaces creates people. Then we enter the Kalari and we have a Putra concept in the west south corner. So we'll do the salutation there in the Putra. Then after that, we'll do a Guru Vanakkam, Guru lineage. We always salute the Gurus because the knowledge what we teach now is actually is transmitted from many Gurus. Whenever we are thinking about the Guru lineage of Kalari, especially if you are thinking about the southern style of Kalaripayattu, Shiva is the Adi Guru and he transmitted his knowledge to Umayal, Parvati, and she transmitted her knowledge to Kartikeya or Muruga, from Muruga to Agastya and the 18 Siddhas. So the lineage of knowledge is transmitted from Adi Guru Shiva to Parvati to Muruga to Agastya and to the 18 Siddhas and to the tremendous Gurus, many Gurus who had preserved, innovated, researched on this subject.
Yeah.
At the same time, if you are thinking about the northern style of Kalaripayattu, Adi Guru Shiva transmitted this knowledge to Parashurama, and Parashurama created many Kalari Gurus in Kerala and he taught these things. We have distinct two styles of Kalari. Now, as a sports Kalari is evolving and now it is in the national games also. So, the styles are there. At the same time, we have a common umbrella also, like to how to perform in sports and kind of things. It is also evolving and innovated in such a way that it is progressing in another dimension. So, all the students, whoever practicing Kalari has instilled with some kind of values to respect each other, to respect the ground, to respect the Mother Earth, to respect the space and Gurus, and then learn. So, more than pujas, we are evolving in such a way that the self-respect, the respect to the knowledge basically, or the Guru lineage is happening. Basically, the major difference between the Gurukula system, which is followed in Kalaris, as well as the modern education system, that we can realize what are the differences. For example, in modern education system, the responsibility of learning is completely up to the student.
Yeah.
If you failed in some exams, teacher will ask the student why you failed. Mother will ask the student why you failed. All the people, the friends, relatives, everybody will ask him only. The responsibility of learning is completely up to the student. But if it comes to the Gurukula system, it's a collective responsibility. We always say, whenever you are with Guru, you should learn. Guru never teaches. Mostly he will be in silence, but you can observe him and learn many things. We call it as Kaksha Nirapeksha. There is no classrooms. Wherever you are sitting with Guru, sometimes you are walking with him, sometimes you are swimming, you should learn. That is Kaksha Nirapeksha. Samaya Nirapeksha, there is no specific times, mornings at 9:30 to 3, no time. When you wake up, if you are associated with Guru, you should start learning many things. There is no time. Midnight is a time, early morning is a time. Whatever time you are associating with Guru, you should learn. Then Pariksha Nirapeksha is the best part actually. Now what is happening is you are writing an exam and somebody is sitting somewhere and putting marks. That you are good, you are bad. That means a selection process is happening. Actually, we should feel that I know. Pariksha you should do with yourself. And you should realize that I know this knowledge. I can do this. That confidence you have to build. So this is what the major difference we can see with Gurukula system of education and the modern education system. At the same time, Gurukula means the family of Guru. If he teaches his son, he teaches the same way he will teach the student also. Because all students coming to him is his sons or his family.
So what about you then? Who was your grandfather or great grandfather your guru, first guru?
My all inspiration comes from my father, Sanalji Gurukkal. So he inspired me to this path, basically, even the spiritual path also. Because my family here, the Kalari is situated. My family came almost like 200 years back. They came from a nearby place called as Vedandara, near to the airport. So my great grandfathers came and settled here. So Ashan Vaidyar and his wife was the first known person to me, because my grandmother died 6 years back in the age of 101.
Oh, wow.
So she was talking about many things, many stories about my grandfather's father, the great grandfathers, and all. So that knowledge I have. These are the generations who transmitted and preserved this knowledge here. So they were experts in Marma Chikitsa, the pressure point reviving systems, Kalari Chikitsa, and Kalaripayattu. So my father inspired me in this path, because he was a wonderful researcher, he was a nature lover, he was a spiritual yogi. We have a photograph that I am performing in UKG in my school.
4 years old, 3 years old, yeah.
Yeah, 4 years old. So mostly my father was teaching me. He has many students. He was teaching me late night, like after 9:30, our classes will start. There was a shadow fear. For example, post-independence also, it was illegal for 150 years. So there was a shadow fear after independence also. This is legal or illegal? The doubt was there until it evolved as a sports. So that's why the gurus were keeping it very secret. Even the training sessions were very very secretly they are handling. Even I remember that my old school was after 9:30 in the night.
The Kalaripayattu.
Like I mean Kalari school.
Oh, wow. So how does it feel now, that you can actually practice it when and how and however you
Because
like?
now people are more aware, especially parents are more aware about the influence, the benefits of Kalaripayattu. Agasthyam Kalari, we had innovated many programs. For example, the first mission was to propagate Kalari. No, the first mission was to promote Kalari in a better way. So we created Nalludal, Kalari for all ages. Because this world, we have the stress, strain, lifestyle diseases, many things people are suffering from. So Kalari is the best solution for that. So we created Nalludal, then we created Prana, better breathing, for almost like old people. At the same time, we created the Shakti, Women Self-Defense Initiative. We created Akam, a deep Kriya meditation program. At the same time, the major innovation was our TTP program or Sambardayam, where we started creating trainers. So it's a long discipline, like it is an 1-year discipline for the foundational students. So through Sambardayam, we started training rigorously to create better trainers.
So, sir, is there a minimum or maximum age to practice Kalari?
That in our Kalari, we have students spanning from 7 to 84.
84.
Yeah, we have students from age 7 to 84.
In your center, there are children who are 7 years of age till about people 84 years of age. So,
Yeah.
The people who are 84 years of age, they started at 84 or they started slightly early? And
No, actually, we innovated and announced Kalari for all ages 7 years back. Because Kalari is a long discipline, first of all. Second thing, it is very hard to do, like the flexibility part, the endurance, the training part is little higher. So we innovated a program called as Nalludal for all ages. So if you are, for example, if you are after 40s, if you come to Kalari, you can't do dynamically like a kid. So gradually you have to be prepared. So that preparatory part, we created a systematic syllabus and we introduced that thing. And so that every age group can practice at their own pace. So gradually, anecdotally we can see that many people came here as old people. Now they transformed as dynamic youngsters. We
Wow.
can say like that, because we have one person called as Jayakumar. He's 67. He can fight like anything now. He started flipping, and but he came here as an old man 5 years back.
Yeah. You also said that Kalari has it has Kalari Chikitsa. Is it the healing aspect of Kalari?
Definitely, because Kalaripayattu is the only martial art which has a healing system incorporated. No other martial art has a healing system. For example, Kalari is a well-rounded study. It starts with the Meyorikams or physical body practices. In northern style, we call it as Meitari, Koltari, Angatari, and Verumkai. That means conditioning the physical body, fighting with sticks, fighting with the metal weapons, then the bare hand tactics. When it comes to the southern style of Kalaripayattu, it is mostly the Meyorikams are there, the physical conditioning is there. Then after that, we'll start with the Chuvad or the foundational steps. Then we move to the Kaipur, the bare hand tactics. Then we have wide range of weapons. Even you can see many weapons here,
Yeah.
like short staff, long staff. We have the gadas, we have spears, we have choppers, knives,
How heavy?
sword and shield.
How heavy are these weapons? You know, like how heavy are they?
Vary up to the practitioner's strength. Then we have a flexible weapon, Urumi. You might have heard about Urumi, the flexible sword. Then after this learning, we will move to the pressure point learnings, that we have the 108 pressure points in human body. It sings Parappa Paduvarmam Pannirandu, Pangamal Toduvarmam Tonnuttaru. We have 12 points, which is very fatal, 96 points to evade from hits or some kind of attacks. At the same time, we have the revival processes. We call it as Adangals. Then we have the Kalari Chikitsa Paddhati. The massages what we have seen in Ayurveda is mostly adapted from the Kalari Tirumals or Kalari Abhyangams, the massage tactics of Kalari. So we have a wonderful healing system also, Kalari Chikitsa Paddhati. This shows that this martial art evolved as a war art. You know, if you are going for a war, you will get injured. But at the same time, the gurus will revive you in a very short span of time with many tactics. Adangals means the pressure point tactics. At the same time, through medicines, through massages, they can revive you. So this system evolved as a holistic system, as a lifestyle, as a martial arts, at the same time as a healing system. So the responsibility of gurus or gurukkals were to protect the society with valor as well as compassion and care.
Yeah, and I think before starting Kalari as well, one has to really oil their body, right? That is a part of Kalaripayattu.
Yeah, I told you there are distinct two styles, northern style and southern style.
Yeah.
If you are practicing the northern style of Kalaripayattu, this is mandatory. You should apply oil on the body in a regular basis, and then you start practicing. But mostly in the southern style of Kalari, the styles are different.
I actually have a very random question. Have you watched this movie called Kantara?
Yeah,
You
definitely.
have, right? And there are so many amazing uh, uh, there are so many fight sequences there. Do you think they have been inspired by Kalaripayattu?
Yeah, I think, yes. If you think about the South India and the war tactics happened here is completely based upon this southern style of martial arts mostly, you know. So Kalaris created warriors at that time. So the military recruitment happened through the Kalari centers, or the military was trained by the Kalari gurus to use these weapons. So ultimately, the influence of Kalaripayattu is 100% there, evident in that war tactics.
So, what is that one thing or exercise that everyone can do to make this a healthy nation?
So basically, we should realize what is health. Ayurveda says Kshamavan aptopasevi bhavet arogyam. What is health? It says, when you start serving others, when you start loving others, when you are compassionate with others or with the society, then you are healthy. World Health Organization is also saying, they amended actually the definition of health in 1947. Health means it is not merely the health of physical body or mind. If your society is healthy, then you are healthy. This is what World Health Organization is also saying. So whenever we chant the Shanti mantra, for example, we always start our classes with the Sarvesham Sustir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. This Shanti mantra we always chant. When we chant that Shanti mantra, this swasti or wellness or Shanti or peace, this is not getting for others actually. When you aspire Shanti for others, you are attaining Shanti. If you are aspiring wellness for others, you are getting that. This is how our body and mind works. I can talk about one story about John D. Rockefeller. You heard about John D. Rockefeller. He was the richest person in US. So he owned one refinery in the age of 26. He was controlling all refineries in US in the age of 32. And he became the world's richest person in the age of 46 or 47. So what happened was, he was greed. He was not even sleeping. He was working hard. Then he created money, enormous money. In the age of 49, he became ill. Because actually from age 46 to 49, he was merely surviving with some biscuits and one glass of milk. He got a lot of money from many people, like he was the richest person. He was holding enormous money, but he was not able to eat anything because his intestine, his systems, entire body chemistry was wrong. So he consulted many doctors. Then what happened was, the doctors unanimously said, you are going to die in 1 year. Because your entire internal system is collapsed. You are going to die in 1 year. Then he said, I have this much of money. I can give this money to you. Help me out of this. Again, doctor said, no, this is not going to work. You are going to die. Money can't bring back the physical body. Then John D. Rockefeller decided to create a Rockefeller Foundation. He created John D. Rockefeller Foundation. Then his entire concept of greed shifted. He started free education for the students, free medical ailments aid for the students. Like the concept of taking shifted to giving, serving. His ego shifted to universality. His selfishness shifted to selflessness. Many orientation shifted. And his entire body chemistry changed when he started giving, loving, compassionate. Then what happened, when he died in the age of 92.
Oh.
That means when you start serving others, you create a fearless mindset. You create compassion. You create love. And you start serving and giving. Then you will become healthy.
That is true. That is gold advice, actually. And actually, Rockefeller had written these letters to his son. And he kept telling him that, I don't want you to be spoiled. You have to have your own struggles, otherwise you'll get spoiled. So he didn't want to give his money to his son as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it, as you said, maybe it came from that greed, right? And then I think it must have shifted later.
And even in the beginning, I said, Puna Vrdha, Puna Mitra, Puna Bharya, Puna Mihi, Edat Sarva Punar Labhya, Na Sharira Puna Puna. you exercise in a daily basis. Whatever exercise, you should do the right exercise, for example.
Yeah.
So whatever kind of exercise you do in a better way, Kalari is a better way to create this warrior lifestyle, strong mind, fearless mindset. At the same time, it enhances many faculties. You do that exercises and be strong with your body and mind. And once Shankaracharya was also asking a crowd, he asked, Jagam Jitam Kena, who will conquer the world? And he answered, Manohiyena, those who conquer the mind can conquer the world.
Yeah. That is such good advice. That is such a good and inspiring story, sir. Will we see your center in north of India?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because now we are coming with uh, one brand that is Kalari by Agasthyam. So we want to create more centers all over India. You might be had seen Milind Soman. He become our brand ambassador, and we are trying to make more and more centers all over India.
Actually, I would want the audience to know that Sir has had a very varied, multi-dimensional career where he headed a news channel for a couple of years. Please tell us a little bit about that.
So the Agasthyam Kalari is in my home only because I evolved in this place. I am grown up in this land. So this happened parallelly, but in 2020. One second. But in 2002, my father's demise happened. So after that, what I had to do is I had to manage my family. So one of my post graduation was in journalism. So I opted journalism and I became a journalist for almost like 25 years, mostly visual media journalist. Last 10 years, I was heading a television channel. It is actually the third biggest newspaper in Kerala, is Kaumudi. So I was heading the Kaumudi television for almost like 8 to 10 years. Then after completing my 25th year in the visual media aspect, I told my colleagues that I am quitting this job and I had to continue. My true calling is something different. So I had to continue with my mission. So I quit my media profession and I continued with Agasthyam. And
that is quite a journey. And just to wrap it up, I want to ask you, what is that one advice that you would give to your younger self or anyone who's watching this show?
The basic thing we need to know is knowing ourselves. Even I already had told you, we know many things, but we are not much aware about ourselves. As your title says, we are alien to you. We are alien to us, actually.
Yeah.
So explore more about you. What are the possibilities? What are the strengths? What are the potential? Really, we need to realize that we are limitless. We have limitless possibilities. So to explore that, we have to learn, practice and evolve and explore yourselves. And be a greatest potential and be a greatest warrior which can support your nation.
That is some very good advice. Thank you so much, sir, for your time, for sharing your experience, for sharing such valuable knowledge. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of this episode. Namaste.